So, you happen to see that one of your favourite cinemas is playing some movies, and they bloody better be. And you think to yourself, I haven't seen these movies on the big screen before, and that could be a hell of an experience, because maybe these are two movies you find some admiration for. Maybe one of them is one you've only recently discovered or recently watched. Not really discovered, known about for a while, that kind of jazz. Maybe you've had the Blu-ray for the past 3 years and you've only just started to watch it. Who'd have thought it? And then the other one's an absolute classic, one of your favourite films of all time, and you're like, you know what, tonight's the night. I'm going to go out and Halloween Kills. Wait, no, that's the wrong movie. And I'm going to go out and watch some horror movies at the Astor. In this video, I'm going to be discussing the interesting joy and often privilege of rewatching old movies in the cinema. Now, this is a thing that, I don't know, gets the youth all grind up. I'm kidding. My girlfriend has asked me before, what's the point of going to see a movie that you've already seen before, but in the cinema? And I'm like, because it's on a big-ass screen. And why else? Like, I don't care half the time for the sound system. Most of the time, I just want to see it on a big goddamn screen. That's about it. But there's also the factor of audience. So in this case, I had the best experience watching a double feature of 2 4K scans of Videodrome and John Carpenter's The Thing. One of which I feel like they could have easily reversed the screenings and done it The Thing first and then Videodrome, but they started with Videodrome. I only note that because Videodrome, kind of hilarious. Not as in, oh, it's funny because it's stupid or bad because it's bad. No, it seems intentionally funny. I didn't notice the comedy when I first watched it only a few months ago. And by a few months ago, I mean like February? maybe January at the earliest. I don't know, I watched like 50 movies that month. It was one of them. But I had I got the criterion. I figured I'd watch it. Why not? I really liked it. I didn't love it, but I liked it a lot. Watching it with a crowd, you know what? I kind of loved it. And because from like the opening scene, there's just a part. Well, not even the opening scene. Well, kind of the opening scene. One of the first scenes. You get James Woods' character, and he's looking at these nude pictures of a Japanese girl, and he's just eating dried, old pizza, stale pizza, out of a box like it's nothing. Like, this whole experience is nothing. And just everyone was laughing at it, because it's kind of got this, like, interesting absurdity to it. But, of course, then you jump to The Thing, and it's not like that at all. It's tense, and you can feel in the atmosphere, and that's really fun. But, I mean, I'd also just watched Videodrome and had been laughing my head off, and I'm like, yeah, I really feel like Videodrome should have come up with this, because it's like, I don't know, like, I still enjoyed the both of them. Like, I'd never seen either of them in cinema, especially The Thing. That was the one that me and my mates, we all went there. I didn't even know they were going till like the day before. I was like, hey, do you want to see this is the Astor? And they're like, yeah, we're already going. And I'm like, oh, fuck, all right, I guess I'll show up too. And I was, almost gonna not do it because it started raining, because winter is coming. Who'd have thought? It's autumn, it sucks, I hate it. And it was late. It was 7:30, ended at almost midnight. I'm tired, end of a work day, end of a work week. It's just a lot of stuff, But I decided, you know what, I'm going to do it. I also had a shower, and it was like, that woke me the hell up, and I'm like, yep, I'm in, I'm doing this. The commitment was there. And honestly, did not regret it in the slightest. I absolutely loved it. It was wonderful. I mean, I had mentioned in a previous video, I guess. I don't know, maybe it'll come out after this. The Desert Island one, if you've seen that one. If it has come out yet, I don't know. Anyway, I mentioned in it that we're watching The Thing. And of course, this movie starts up, and you get to the helicopter, and it's flying around. And my mate guy turns to me, and he's like, hey, I've got a funny joke coming up, but I'll tell you in a second. And then the dog shows up, and he goes over to me, he's like, so here's the thing. You know when you just need that one joke that's like, I think that was all I needed. That was like the one thing that just made me crack up. Like, I was just like, oh my god, like, the kind of, I want to put my hand in my face in my hands. I can't really do that because I'm wearing glasses, and just laugh uncontrollably, but I could not because I'm in the cinema with people who probably haven't watched this film before, including our mate Joel. I'm like, I don't want to ruin this experience for him, but we just couldn't stop laughing. Anyway, it's just that kind of an experience. But that's just the thing, isn't it? Because it's not just the bigger screen, and trust me, a Carpenter in full widescreen, mamma mia. But then you get the audience, and the audience obviously can be either a delight or can be terrible, because, you know, some people just might not like what they're watching. But at the same time, I guess after you've watched Videodrome, you know, expect it. Expect this kind of body horror. So then, you know, we had the fun thing of people were laughing during Videodrome, which we were all laughing together, which I really liked. No one was laughing because it just looks stupid or it just seems stupid. It's like, we're laughing because this is funny. This is funny shit, you know? Especially because most of us, I'm pretty sure, I feel like the people who are laughing had seen this before. Like, there's an interview segment where main characters on the TV getting interviewed, and there's another guy who's there on a TV monitor, and he starts, you know, getting questioned, and like his responses and the way he's acting is very sus. And the first time you watch it, you're kind of like, okay, that's an interesting guy. The second time you watch it, you're like, oh, okay, I get it now. But then with the thing, that's like, you know, can be for some people pure terror, you know? Terror takes shape, as one of the taglines is. And that's kind of also really interesting and fun to watch, because how are people going to react to arguably one of the most scary films of all time? I don't really particularly find it to be such a scary film anymore, but I just, you know, have grown to adore it, much like with Alien and other counterparts. But then you get this film, and I had one guy maybe 2-3 rows behind me when you get to the defibrillator scene, and, you know, you get the plunging, and then it opens up, and the guy was like, what the fuck? You know, like, more of a holy shit kind of thing, like in an absolute shock, but completely okay with verbalizing it. Like, what the fuck am I watching? Just obviously, you know, someone has not watched this film and they get an utter shock in their reaction, and I think everyone there was like, yeah, this is how good it is. It's so good. But yeah, it's also that element of watching it with friends. And watching the film with friends, I could do that in here. I've seen The Room a few times, of course, the classic Tommy Wiseau film. And that's a film where you can go see that at the Nova. They have it playing once a month. I think it's like the first Saturday of every month they have it playing. I haven't been since COVID, so it's like, I can't really remember, but I'm pretty sure that was the stipulation. And like, that's really fun to watch with an audience, especially because it's a cult film, you know, like Rocky Horror and whatnot. You know, you go there with the audience, you have an expectation of what you're going to get. If you've never watched the film before, I feel like that's kind of on you. But then you kind of get used to it, and you kind of go back again, and it just kind of grows on you, and you become a part of this cult. And it's fun, a good kind of cult, not a bad kind of cult. I mean, at the same time, we're all watching The Room and throwing spoons at a goddamn screen, so I don't know, maybe it is a bad kind of cult, you tell me. Nevertheless, you get to this point where, again, you can watch this movie with your friends in the cinema, and that's also a thing. Like, I was going to watch this by myself, not knowing that my friends were going to be there, and then it turns out they were going to be there. I'm like, that's even better, you know? It's so much more fun to watch a film with friends, clearly. But the thing with The Room, which I know, kind of a weird tangent, side tangent, I got the DVD of it just prior to, maybe sometime in 2019. I was actually planning on getting a copy for a friend at the time as well, but I decided against it. Thank God I did, I guess. Or maybe I had got them a copy as well. I can't really remember. I didn't. It's like a Region 1 copy, so they didn't have the a Blu-ray or DVD player that could play it. So either way, I have a copy. Pretty fun. I think I just got it on eBay for like $30. I think it was mint as well, like in plastic. Nevertheless, I showed that to my brother's friends, because they had never seen it before. We're all like half drunk, and I'm like, hey, do you want to watch one of the funniest films ever made? They're like, sure. And they had a blast. And that's also a very fun thing. obviously kind of different. You know, I'm not exactly watching this in the cinema, but I'd never watched it on TV before. I've never had thought about watching it on TV. I think I... Okay, I'll be honest, I'm pretty sure the first time... Now that I remember, I'll be honest, like, oh my god, I gotta confess. I'm pretty sure the first time I ever watched The Room was with friends, because this is back in high school, and one of them had, like, a pirated copy or whatever, and we, chucked it on, and we all had a blast watching it. I think we watched the CinemaSins video after, back when we used to watch CinemaSins. Woof. Nevertheless, so... Obviously, this isn't just a thing of maybe you want to go watch a movie by yourself. Maybe you want to watch an old movie by yourself. And I say an old movie is something that's come out prior to the past year. It's out of its release date. It's not in cinemas anymore, locally or whatever, or even internationally. It's gone from the cinemas. So now you get this opportunity to watch something in a cinema that maybe you've never seen in the cinema before. And I remember watching Blade Runner 2049, and I've seen that, have I seen it 3 times yet in cinema? I think I've just seen it twice, unfortunately. I really wanted to see the IMAX. I missed out. I always miss out when they have it on IMAX, because I'm busy, my guys. I have no time to watch a double feature of Blade Runner and 2049. Just give me 2049. Like, I've watched the final cut of Blade Runner in IMAX. I don't need to watch it again in IMAX. Give me 2049. I want to see that in IMAX. Hasn't happened yet. I'm just going to have to wait. Nevertheless, I mean, the first time I watched that was in the cinema. The second time I watched it was at the Astor. Bigger screen, 4K projection. I think I'd bought the Blu-ray by that stage. I don't even know. The second time I watched it was in the cinema. But, like, I've watched plenty of films just in cinema that are way older than I am. The Alien stuff. Okay, most of these are at the Astor. I gotta be completely honest there. Most of these are at the Astor. One of the only exceptions that is notable was Dial M for Murder at Cinema Nova, because they had a Hitchcock retrospective, and my dad and I decided on 2 of his films, which was North by Northwest, which I hadn't seen by that stage, I'd grown up with it, but I couldn't remember much, so we watched it, whatever. And I'm pretty sure it was North by Northwest. Either way, the other one was Dial M for Murder. I'd never seen it, but the reason we wanted to see it was in 3D. That's a really hard thing to get, to watch that in 3D. Like, it's probably a common thing in the US, where they have old cinemas. They do that thing. We don't have that in Australia. Not very frequently, at least. Like, I know we've got the Cinema Nova, independent local cinema, but at the same time, they're not replaying old movies every goddamn day. Sometimes they are, but they usually have a reason for it. The Astor, that's all they do for the most part. I mean, they might have seasons where they play, one big new film, or they might just play a new film once, maybe in a film print, maybe not. I mean, hell, I watched Death on the Nile on 70mm. Yikes. Like, the new one. Double yikes. But, yeah, Dial M for Murder, 3D. Wonderful experience. Now, this wasn't exactly a rewatch like I had with Alien and Aliens a few years earlier at the Astor, which... I think that was the 70mm print of the special edition of Aliens. I can't remember. I'm pretty sure it was the special edition. It might have just been a theatrical cut. I can never remember. Either way, they show that every goddamn year now. You get the 4K of Alien, and you get the 35mm cut or 70mm cut of Aliens. I'm pretty sure it's theatrical, but nevertheless, that is a great cinema experience. Like Lawrence of Arabia, 70mm at the Astor. Wonderful time. I watched that with my partner. She'd never seen it before. I don't think she'll ever watch it again. I don't mind. I'm the kind of guy who I will be happy to show her a movie. She's happy to watch a movie. She might not always like the movie or want to rewatch it. I don't want to degrade the kind of relationship we have, but we have, you gotta have an understanding, I want to show her something cool. Let's hope it's good, So most of the time I want to be showing her stuff that I've seen that I like, that she hasn't seen, rather than stuff that I haven't seen before, that she hasn't seen before, and I don't know what the vibe is. Like when we watched Zombie Flesh Eaters, and we both did not really like that film. I've still yet since bought the 4K, and I plan to rewatch it, because I'm like, it's not that bad of a film, it's just, we were expecting something different, and we didn't get what we wanted. So, yeah. Nevertheless, yeah, it just answers the question for my girlfriend, because again, she wonders why I go and see movies that I have on Blu-ray, that I can watch on Netflix, that or not really to watch on Netflix, I have easier accessibility where I don't have to go out and pay to watch a movie that I have easier accessibility to. Why do I need to waste more of my money? I did not need to spend more money on Videodrome and The Thing, but to see them in cinema, like, I did not need to see Videodrome in cinema. But with the audience, turned out to be a bloody blessing in disguise. The Thing, I just wanted to see it on a big ass screen. It was simple as that. I do kind of prefer watching it on the 4K UHD, but it is what it is. Anyway, I'm going to do a freeze frame thing here. Camera has died. Let me know your thoughts down below, and see you guys in the next one. Bye.